Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hello and welcome to the Weekly Shitter. Today is Thursday, January 11th, and it is 2024. This is my first Weekly Shitter in several weeks, so if you're here and you're joining us, thank you for joining in. Before we jump into our first story, which is going to be a Florida Man story, I would just like to remind everyone that the Florida Man games are coming. I touched base on what those were going to be on a Weekly Shitter probably 2 months ago. And the Florida Man games are officially going to be February 24th, okay? So keep that in mind because when that time comes, we will be keeping ourselves updated and I will be making a whole entire video about that probably. Boy, do I have a Florida Man story for you this week. This Florida Man is, like most of them, a total piece of shit. But this story involves a game that a lot of you nerds love. World of Warcraft. I once dated a guy who was literally obsessed with this game, and he was like a 30-year-old man. So, that's the age range we're probably going for whenever it's a man who's obsessed with World of Warcraft. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion, unless you're like this Florida man who, at the age of 31, drove all the way from Florida to Ohio to meet up with a 16-year-old girl that he had met through World of Warcraft. And he drove her all the way back to his house. And his plan was to hide her and keep her in his house until she was of age. And then he planned on wedding her. So he literally kidnapped his child bride and was just gonna hide her. The only reason they were able to find this missing Ohio teenager was by tracking his location through World of Warcraft, his account. So the very thing that he was using to find this girl is the thing that helped the police find him. So yeah, and also when he finally admitted to the authorities that he did indeed know her and what his plans were, he was convinced that he was in a romantic relationship with her. So he's been arrested and he's facing charges that include traveling to meet a minor to engage in sexual activity, interfering with child custody, and sheltering an unmarried minor. I think that list should be longer personally, but I'm just hoping he's actually found guilty of everything. So that he is bye-bye for a while. Also, I would just like to let everyone know this day is coming up, so you might want to mark your calendars, and I'm here to tell you guys the important things. January 21st is Squirrel Appreciation Day, National Squirrel Appreciation Day. So make sure you mark your calendars and you're ready to appreciate the squirrels on January 21st. So there's actually a pretty huge weather thing going on, so I'm actually going to pass it on to our weather person. Tell us about the weather, Anna. Hey everybody, I'm Anna. I'm gonna tell you about the weather. There's actually a cyclone developing in the Great Plains, wherever the fuck that is. I should know where that is, but I don't. And I'm not being paid to know, so. But it's somewhere. And that started on Monday. Okay, this is literally insane. Parts of northeast New Mexico, eastern Colorado, and Oklahoma and Texas, western Kansas, and southwest Nebraska could all experience blizzard conditions. I don't know about you, but it's kind of surprising to me that blizzard conditions could even happen in a couple of those areas. Also, this huge cyclone storm that's going on, some of you, by the time you're watching this video, will probably have already noticed the insane wind going on. I live in Ohio, and literally stepping outside to take my dog out, I'm like, because the wind is smacking me back and forth. It's literally horrible. And that's probably going to continue for the next several days. This week, the wind is supposed to cause severe decreases in like normal winter temperatures. So it's actually going to get really fucking cold for a lot of states, especially in the northern areas. The New Mexico Department of Transportation said Monday morning that snow was already creating hazardous driving conditions across the state, and several weather observation stations reported wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. That is hard-hitting wind. There's also going to be icy rain. Like, this is going to be a shitstorm for the rest of this entire week, probably into the weekend as well. And it's saying that the total snowfall for several of the areas, especially the colder areas, could reach as high as 3 feet. And this is all going to be where the cyclone is, which I'm pretty sure it's more in the western United States area. So most of the people in like the eastern area of the United States will probably have more of like the after effects, like the gusts of wind and like icy rain, but I doubt that we'll have like heavy snow. And that's about all that I have when it comes to like the weather right now, so I'm gonna pass it back to our main news anchor. Give us a good story, Anna. Thanks, Anna. I'll do my best. This news isn't good. It's super depressing. That's what news is a lot of the time, so I feel like I need to share. So this one doesn't even have any like tea to it, so I'm kind of mad because I want to know. This past Tuesday, sometime in the evening, there was a fight between 2 adults and then I'm guessing also 3 other adults, but it just says 3 suspects, so I'm unaware of their exact age. My dog is being an attention whore. Shocker. But basically, the 2 adults that were in the argument with these other 3 suspects, things got like really, really intense with the argument. I want to know what they were arguing about. This is literally insane, but one of the adults, he was 20 years old. He's still alive. But he got fucking stabbed. Who stabs people anymore? Like, I guess I live in a city where like gun violence is like extremely high, but like stabbing? We're just walking around stabbing people now? I mean, shooting people is worse, but like just over an argument, you stab someone? Oh shit. Okay. I have more information. So this argument happens and one of the victims, a male, 20, gets fucking stabbed. And then the other victim, a 19-year-old female, also got injured. I don't know how exactly, but she was also transported to the hospital with the other victim. Now, the 3 suspects, I said I wasn't sure exactly how old they were because they didn't say adults for some reason. Well, that's because they were not all adults. We have one of the suspects is a woman in her early 20s. The other is a woman in her late teens. And the other one is a man in his early 20s as well. So we've got like very similar, same age range, some type of argument resulted in someone getting fucking stabbed. And that's all we even know about it. And they haven't found any of the suspects yet. They haven't found any of them. Is that not insane? All 3 of the suspects, nowhere to be found. But what's confusing to me is how have they not been able to identify the 3 suspects if the 2 victims are alive? Unless they're like in comas or something, but that is not, it said minor injuries, so I have to assume they're chilling at the hospital. It's just absolutely mind-blowing to me. So there you have it. There's some stories for you. Stay tuned for next week where I will be more prepared and we'll get into some more stories and just talk about things going on. As always, thank you for watching and participating in this lovely channel that I am very proud of. Weekly Shitter is my baby and it will continue to be so. Everyone who is watching, please like this video, please subscribe, and have a fantastic rest of your week. Goodbye.